This is Jay,
Jay, nice to meet you, mate.
Jay,
and Will,
how do you do?
who's
Hi, Will. How do you do?
going to be
All right,
filming
Will.
this morning
Will
whilst
and
we
Jay.
right. So,
Yeah. You picked a good morning, haven't you?
James, so we've done a fair number of these, and there's been a couple in the nice weather and a couple not so nice. It's unfortunately with the UK weather, it's potluck, isn't it?
It is.
So how are you anyway? You all
Yeah,
well?
very good, very good.
You
yeah,
still
yeah.
keeping well?
Yeah, very good, really.
Do you prefer being here than because I used to come out
yeah,
to Broadwas
exactly.
when we had our
yeah,
horses?
we were at Broadwas. We started there, and then we moved to Holdfast, and it didn't work out so well there. We came here in 2017. It was that New Year, more or less, Christmas Eve. We came here, and
sharing with
yeah,
Henry Oliver.
Henry Oliver trains in the old part of the yard, and we've got the sort of yard. We've got the bottom yard where we just were. The middle yard here, where we've got four fillies, and then we've got the sort of the big guns round the front there, Dring Composer, and we've got a menage and the schooling grounds at the top. So yeah, I got in touch with John Spearing at that period when we had to leave Holdfast, and he'd sort of reduced his numbers a little bit, and we were able to rent sort of 22 boxes we've got here now.
Okay.
Yeah, poor John died a couple of years ago. But
good guy, wasn't he?
Yeah, good trainer.
Yeah.
I rode winners actually.
Yeah, I
for
remember
him
you
in the
telling me.
old days,
Remember you telling me years ago this.
days,
Yeah.
And as a young kid, and so thankfully he came to the rescue, and it's a fantastic place to train, basically. Yeah. It's a good place.
When yourself and me were back, I had some horses here with, they were up in the previous yard. You had a lot more jumpers then than you've
We
got
did,
right now.
yeah, we did. We were mainly jumping then because our owners were more sort of jumping orientated. It was just how it was. When we first started, we had a few flat horses, and we enjoyed training flat horses, but the owners that we had were sort of keen on their jumping, which was great. I think.
Do you have a preference, James?
Not really, but I think now the more we've evolved more onto the flat, because we got involved with Peter Clark Racing about 4 years ago, and they sent us out to buy some flat horses, and we haven't found it easier to win or anything like that, but you can run the horses, you can run them more often. You don't have to worry quite so much about heavy ground or firm ground. You don't get quite so many injuries. It's still plenty fraught enough, but I have to say, from an owner's point of view, you can get out racing a bit more. The jumpers, it's so frustrating sometimes. You can have lovely horses and a little knock here and bad ground there, and buying them actually is damn dear. For whatever reason, you know, it's difficult to understand why, but to go out and get a decent jumper to compete now is very difficult. So I think probably now Jane and I do prefer the flat horses, because you can run them, and it's but it's lovely. I'm very pleased that we've got some nice jumpers to have a crack with in the autumn.
So James, introduce us to this lovely row of horses.
Yeah, well, we've got Kapamazov here, who's my cap guard. Had some lovely runs for experience last jumping season. Ended up, we gave him one spin over fences at Utoxeter, and he ran very well. And I'm hoping now that you know, we can go through and build on that this year, and he should be a nice jumper over fences.
There's a jumper to follow then. Jumper to follow.
We've got Strong as Steel here, who had 3 runs in bumpers last spring, and he was just a little bit fragile as a young horse last year, but he's had a lovely summer out, and he's come back looking the business, so he'll go over hurdles. Nice novice hurdler, and I think he could be a bit above average, we're hoping. Nice horse.
Again, another one to look forward to for this jump season.
Yep, 5-year-old. This is Mascoul, who's been a real good servant to us. Peter Clark Racing own him, and he's won 9 races. He
Real solid horse.
Yeah, solid performer. Yeah, been a cracking little horse, really. middle
That's
distance. But he'll run. He's 1/7 for us, but he's sort of evolved into a good 1.25 mile horse now.
Good.
So he runs next week. Nottingham, hopefully, or Kempton. This is a horse called the Flying Falco.
Okay.
And, we got quite excited about Stu, we call him. Barry didn't pay very much money for him at all as a yearling. And he's out of a sort of champion hurdle family, Sublimity, out of a half-sister to Sublimity. He's had 3 runs on the flat, and the wheels fell off in the last couple of runs, and I think he wasn't quite right.
Okay.
Nothing major, but just a little bit of growing pains again, and because I think he's a genuine horse, but it didn't work for him. But we're just going to back off him and give him a break now.
Okay.
But I think he'll be back in the spring. This is Bungle Bay. He's had a good year already. He's won 2.
Ran last night?
Yeah, ran last night. We tried him over a mile, and he ran a bit fresh and keen. I think he will get a mile, but probably he'll need a few runs under his belt to get the mile. He was just a bit fresh yesterday and didn't have a good draw, but very happy with his run. Joe Levy rode him, and when his chance was gone from a poor position, he didn't knock him about. And I think he may run next Monday. I think there's a race back over 7 furlongs.
This is your racing club horse, isn't it?
Yes,
well,
he's. We've had a few supporters over the years.
Yeah.
Only a handful, almost from the Owner Racehorse days when we trained a few for Owner Racehorse. Martin Knott runs our website and organises them, and they sort of come and support, and it works well actually. Really, so
can people still get involved in that if they wanted to?
Yeah, they can. Yeah,
okay.
It's not a formal thing, but they get a bit of prize money if the horse wins. Basically, he runs in Jane's name, and it works very well. And Martin runs it really on the same sort of basis that the other racing clubs
Maybe
do.
some of our followers might be interested to get in touch with James about racing.
250 quid for the year or something like that, and it just helps us sort of put towards his training fees.
Of course,
this is Damson, who we saw working with Dream Composer. Again, she was second in a bumper. Lovely filly by Jack Hobbs, 5-year-old. Came to us just before Christmas last year, and we've taken our time with her. Schooled her over hurdles, and she's ready to go. So she'll run in mares novices and ordinary novices through this year, hopefully. Yeah, nice tough filly. Sweet Serena's in here. She's just pulled out on this lot. She's by Cityscape out of Malindi Bay that we won a bumper with. Nice filly she was.
I remember.
Yeah, Malindi Bay. Yeah. She was a tough little filly, not very big. This filly's a bit bigger, and I think she could jump a fence in time. Very athletic.
And who's got the end box?
This is the Kamiko filly.
Okay.
Out of a Dubai mare, Barry Priest bought, and didn't pay a lot of money for her. Beautifully bred, nice filly. I think she was sort of reared at Overbury locally.
Okay.
Coming along well. You know, she's a bigger filly than the other 2-year-olds that we've got. Yep. So we won't. You know, she might take a little bit longer, but we're hoping to run her as a 2-year-old. And lovely, strong, good temperament. She's been in the stalls. Kamiko is flying as a sire, first season sire. Had the good winner of the Royal Lodge last Saturday, and I think had a Group 1 winner in Canada of Andrew Baldings as well. So you know, Kamiko's good. So we've obviously landed on a nicely bred filly there.
Well, yet again, it seems a lovely, nice group of horses, James.
Good gang, Steve, Chick, and Sean, Brian, and Joe. And,
I know those guys.
Do you?
Yes,
Do you? Right.
What's the horse called again?
She's called Pope Saladani.
Okay.
And she's another 2-year-old, by time test, and she'll hopefully run the end of the month or early next month.
I'll certainly keep a good eye out for this one now. I know that those guys are obviously.
Yeah. She's a real tough little filly. She seems to have been here before. She seems to know what to do, and she's been good in the stalls, and she loves her work, and she's got a racy attitude. Again, she's not over big, but she'll keep growing, you know. So yeah, it's
And
nice.
will
to
this
have
one
some
run?
two grass. Yeah, should probably early November or end of this month.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll see how the Just Call Me Treva gets on
Okay.
next Monday. Hopefully, if we can get her there and run her, she'll give us a little bit of a benchmark then for the other one. Julianos, he's my Dark Angel. We bought him at the Book 2 as a yearling. And we trained him as a 2-year-old, but he didn't quite stand. Nothing major, and looked exciting. We knew we'd got something on our hands. And then he's run well as a 3-year-old now, but he's had niggly things. We took him racing to Wolverhampton in the early part of the summer, and he actually caught a tooth on part of the door in the racecourse stables. Completely freak accident, but it actually splintered a little bit of his jaw and tooth off.
Oh, right.
So I had to drive him straight down to Bourton Vale to have that wired. So that put us back a little bit. But to cut a long story short, he was 3rd last time out in his first handicap run. Off 63, went up to 64.
Yeah.
Been looking forward to running him again, and he was in a couple of weeks ago at Lingfield again, and he just got a knock the night before. He just got cast, so he's been one of those that
Frustrating.
Yeah, bit frustrating, niggly things, but quite an exciting prospect, really. Character, but you know, and
You can see that.
no wonder he gets himself into a pickle sometime. He's just one of those that. A lovely youngster though, nice big animal, and I'm hoping he'll make into a nice miler going forward.
What other horses have we got here?
Down here we've got.
Are they all in their barns at the moment?
Yes.
Can we do like a walk through and you just introduce them, because that always goes down really well. So we know.
So we've got Lily and Jane in the Dream there, and we've got Kentucky Kingdom here.
Okay.
And he's been a good horse for us. He's won 7 races. He won 3 off the bounce, I think, this time last year.
Yeah.
And then just got a little twinge, like they do. He's 8 now, and been a sound horse. And it's not the end of his career, but he'll be 9 in the spring. But I think we'll bring him back. You know, he's not had a hard life. He's by Camacho out of a Galileo mare. So he's beautifully bred, I think, sort of Godolphin originally breeding. We bought him out of Willie Haggis's yard, and he's won 7 for us.
Hello.
So,
What do you want to say?
at the moment. Lovely character, beautiful looking animal too. So we've had a lot of fun with him. He's probably rated in late 60s. Liscon Roll, who's been a very, very good horse for Barry.
Another really good stalwart of yours, isn't it?
He has. We bought him. Didn't pay a huge amount for him. Trying to find a Saturday horse for Barry that wasn't going to break the bank. We bought him. I think he was 7 when we bought him, and yeah, he is a playful horse. He is. And anyway, the second time he ran him, he won a Pertemps qualifier for us, absolutely hacked up. And he's been one of those that the handicappers never let him off the hook. He's still the same now as he was then when we bought him. Runs very well. He won this time last year or last autumn at Uttoxeter. Ran some good races since, and hopefully he'll come back. Again, you can't run him that often. Yeah, he just runs better fresh.
Will the aim be to try and qualify him for the Pertemps again?
We managed to do it last year, but it rained the whole of the damn night before, and he just doesn't like it really heavy. Yeah. It takes too much out of him. So we didn't run him. We had the day out there, but we will. We will look to do that. But we've asked him some big questions, and he's always done us proud. Yeah. But we'd be quite happy to perhaps pick up some smaller fish with him this year. Okay. We ran him at Ascot last year, and he ran a huge race against Sam Brown in one of the veterans races. It was a 50 grand race. Only beat about 4 lengths, and that was a great run as well. But he's a nice horse, and
maybe the same again, fella.
Proper old sort of.
I think so.
Hurdler, really, that you can have some fun. And this is a horse called Landlord to the Stars. Another horse.
Huge horse.
Yeah, he is. He must be 18 hands.
One of the best named horses.
Yes.
I love the name.
Yeah, well, Barry named him after a landlord, a famous landlord in called Rudy in Cheltenham, and Barry named him after him, and it was a fun name really, and it suited him quite well as he's won 3 races for us. He's rated 68. He's only 4, and he won as a 3-year-old, and we just feel at the moment he's just sort of going through a bit of an adolescent, big, weak lad, and he's getting his Vavavoom back at the moment.
Okay.
And I'm looking forward to now running him in the autumn. He goes well on the all-weather and even round tight tracks, which you'd never think he would. But I think it's his American breeding. I think he's by City of Light.
Okay.
That was a Lane's End stallion, a sort of Kentucky Lane's End stallion, and he was a top class, and he's had some good horses. He's got a good horse over there now called Fierceness, which I think is favourite for one of the big Breeders' Cup races. So he's
enormous.
Yeah, we got him at Book One. Yeah, he's we've had jumpers, and I used to ride for Roddy Armitage. Well, I don't think he would, to be honest. Okay. I think he's sort of out and out jumping, flat breeding, and just his shape. I know he's massive, and he'd make fences and hurdles look, but we've tried sort of flatbreds before, and not all of them. It's not an automatic thing. Some of them like jumping, but racing over jumps it's such a tough thing.
So trying to chew your top there.
He's a lovely horse. Actually, he's a right character. But yes, I'm hoping now that if he can really get strong and go through this sort of
it's almost like growing pains.
Yeah,
sort
a
of
little
situation.
bit. It's difficult to explain, but he's a bit weak at the moment for his size, and I think going through the year that will sort itself out. Quite often you can with jumpers, there'll be good 3-year-olds. Either their handicap mark makes life tricky as a 4-year-old, or they're just going through this. That little spurt of growing that takes them through into being a man. He's almost like a bit adolescent now. You feel his father, City of Troy, was a top class 5-year-old, and I'm just hoping that there's a bit more to come still with this lad into next year.
Okay. One to look forward to then.
Yeah, definitely. He's won 3 anyway, run some good races, and so we, I think there's still a bit of unfinished business with him really.
Look forward to keeping an eye on that one.
Yeah, Dream Composer still very fresh, working, loving his work. Easy horse to train.
Is he the fastest horse you've ever trained?
Yeah, I think.
He's got to be, hasn't he?
Yeah, having won the Bullet, he's one of the sort of top sprint handicappers really in the country now, off 98, and
does that handicap make it difficult for you to look at races now? Because it's quite high, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. There's only so many races we've got to choose from, and I think with the slight cutback in fixtures, I've really noticed it this summer. Yeah. For jumpers and the flat horses, less options. But funnily enough, for him, there's always seems to have been a race coming along
at the right time.
Yeah, pretty well. That's why
he must recover so well to just go and look that. I mean, you look fairly fresh there. It's been,
very fresh.
It's only 2 weeks, isn't it, since he ran?
Yeah, it is. We ran him in the Portland, and he's never particularly run well at Doncaster.
Okay.
So he's run okay, but for some reason it just doesn't. It's a flat, fast sort of 5 and 6, and he does like a stiff finish.
Okay.
And he's won at Newmarket.
So the horses, where have they gone now, James?
They've just let themselves out there while we were nattering down on the gallop there. They've let themselves out. They'll go back down and they'll have a pick of grass. They won't have a long pick of grass today.
Not this,
Yeah, with the horse like Dream Composer, every morning though you're glad to get him back in his box after a morning's work. Because there's so many things that can go wrong, day in, day out.
Of course.
One can get loose that gets hold of you. it can be, you know, it's not straightforward just to keep winning with them, that's for sure. This is Damson. She ran in 3 bumpers. She's a jumper. She'll be going hurdling this year, and she's a nice filly.
Okay.
But yes, I mean he's been a money spinner, no question, and you don't have to go abroad or worry too much about prize money if you've got a horse in his class. At the other end, the prize money, it is pretty pitiful, bearing in mind the massive industry that we're in, and there should be more, but that's another thing.
Is there anything that could be done, in your view, to improve that you would automatically make that change overnight? Sort of thing?
I think the Peter Saville's been trying to get the trainers together to talk to the race courses to basically get them to come clean about their income, because I think the race courses generally do very, very well, media rights mainly, and the betting, the money they get from the bookmakers, and not enough. I think that's where the trainers are coming from. Not enough is getting ploughed back into the prize money. We're just not quite getting enough of the slice of the cake.
It hasn't moved on a lot in 10 years, has it?
No. I mean, you look at prize money now, and you know, like the Cumberland Plate 20 years ago was probably 20 grand to the winner, and now it's sort of 14 or 15 or something like that, which doesn't really make sense when a bag of feed is double, a bag of you know, a bale of hay or a bale of shavings is double what it was. So it doesn't actually stack up. I can't pass on those costs to owners if they're not getting a real kickback from prize money. So you can't, owners, it's a shame that owners can't come into it hoping that they can at least pay their way, you know. So it's a bit disappointing, all that, for trainers, really.